When you create a variable in C#, it immediately reserves a space in memory, even if you don't assign a value to it. For example, if you create an int variable, it immediately reserves 32 bits of memory. It's very rare for this to be an issue, but there may be cases where you need to work with a class that consumes enormous amounts of memory. In these cases, you can use the lazy class to prevent the object from being loaded into memory until it is needed. This is called lazy instantiation. If you follow good coding practices, it's extremely unlikely that you'll ever need to make use of the lazy class. It's only included in this course as you may see it in use in projects written by other programmers. An important note when working with lazy objects is that their constructor methods will not run until they are loaded into memory. To begin this lesson, open the StableBase project from your sample files folder. And open the code behind file of taskadmin.aspx. This code uses a link data context object. That's the StableBase data context class. Link is covered in session 10 of the Essential Skills course in this series. Link data context objects can use a lot of memory. For this reason, the code on this page only creates an instance of the class when it is needed. The using statement ensures that it is automatically disposed of once it is no longer in use. This is the best and most efficient coding practice. You're going to rewrite this code using the lazy class, even though it will be slightly less efficient. First, you're going to make the StableBase data context object into a public property. To do this, remove the using statement and you'll notice that some errors appear. You've removed the data object from the method, so the two lines that make use of the data object are marked with errors. Next, add the following line of code outside any event handlers. Public StableBase data context data equals new StableBase data context. This declares the data object as a public property. You'll notice that the errors have disappeared from the button Add New Task click event handler. This code is now very inefficient, as the data object will be loaded into memory even if it is never used. You can make this code slightly more efficient by using the lazy class. Change the code public StableBase data context data equals new StableBase data context to public lazy StableBase data context data equals new lazy StableBase data context. Now the data object will not be loaded into memory until it is used. However, this has introduced some errors in the button Add New Task click event handler. Because the data object is now wrapped up in the lazy class, you need to access its underlying object by using its value property. Change the code data.tasks to data.value.tasks and change data.submitChanges to data.value.submitChanges. All of the errors have now disappeared. View the page in your web browser now. And to test your code, click in the text box and enter poulticing and click Add task. Your code adds the poulticing task successfully. Close your web browser now, and close Visual Studio. You've now completed Lesson 2.2. Use the Lazy class.